Hello, hello, hello. I see
Hi.
Chris, Mark. Is it? Oh, doctors. So plural. I like that. Doctors Arjun and Shubha. Is that correct? I hope I
Yeah,
didn't.
sh yeah, Shobha. So, okay, I see that two of them have connected. So let me see yeah,
Super
uh,
cool.
if I can.
Mark, there's Mark, and we also have Chris,
Hi.
and Vanessa is here as well. Welcome. Mark, I've never met you before, and Dr. Shobha, I have never met you before. I know
Hi.
Chris. Chris is an old hand. He's been around for a long time. No, but he's a great guy. Um, I like to start these office hours with so if I'm completely just going to be completely frank, I did not come sort of like, hey, look, let's learn how to do this today. I like to just sort of start it off with what questions you have, and uh, you know, uh, let's dive in and see where we go. Welcome, Vanessa, as well. I see you too. Hi.
Oh,
And just so everybody knows, we are recording this because we post that so that other people who can't come to these office hours can get the answers and sort of see those responses as well. So, anybody have something that
sure,
they want to kick us
sure.
off with?
yeah, so I have a lot of questions, but
Bring it, bring them. That's what we're here
okay.
for.
Okay, so yeah, so I have downloaded the Go Plus account and also linked my Experienceify account to it.
Okay.
And it is downloading all the contacts. So like all the courses that I have in Experienceify. So I did watch your video on like how to do the basic stuff.
Mhm.
So like I got set up with the basic stuff. So there are products in the Experienceify this thing. My question is, do I have to create again all those products in Go Plus? Because I know, like you mentioned, like we have to create the product, create the pricing links for those products, for those to be available to the students. So, like the products that I already have in the Experienceify, like all my
Your
previous
courses. Hmm.
products. So, do I have to put all of those things in the Go Plus too?
You don't have to put, and so first of all, you don't have to do anything, right?
Mhm.
But what will you, so in order to sell a course, right? In order to connect the course to from Experienceify to Go Plus,
Mhm.
you have to create a product that's the same product, right? So let's just say, can
Mhm.
you give us what's the name of one of your courses?
It's a gift of health food as medicine
Okay,
course.
so let's just say we're going to call it food is medicine for right now, right?
Mhm.
So food is medicine, and is this a free course or do you sell it for a fee?
I sell it for a fee.
Okay, so
No,
I would
no.
recommend, my
Uh-huh.
recommendation is always that you create the product in Go Plus that
Okay.
is the same price and same plan or whatever as in
Uh-huh.
Experienceify. That just creates consistency for your brain.
Uh-huh.
And also, if you um, uh, choose to use the gosh, sorry, my brain just completely shut down. If you choose to use an order page in Go Plus to sell the
Uh-huh.
course, you'll be selling
Mm-hmm.
it for the same amount, and that way there's no confusion in your mind about how much am I selling this course for, right? You're going to have
Mm-hmm.
consistency.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't have to connect all of your courses, right? You could have
Okay.
dozens of courses in Experienceify and only connect one or two of them. You don't have to connect them all. But
Okay.
so when you create that product in Go Plus, what that does is it allows you to um, then, make that connection between Go Plus and Experienceify. And so, uh, you,
Okay. So if I just connect one course, it will help to create that connection and
correct. So I'm going to just show you now. So here's an Experienceify account, obviously, that has,
Mhm.
several courses in it that are published, right? So the one and a key thing is the course has to be published.
Mhm.
And now here's the Go Plus account I have connected to it. So right, so
Mhm.
it's I've
Mhm.
connected through my thing, blah blah blah. And then these are products that I have inside. So if I go to products,
Mhm.
we all know where this is. Here's products, Shazam. So now you've got, this. some of them are products that I sell out in other places, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this book is just, it's an example of an ebook that it's
Mm-hmm.
not associated with any course, but I would just, it was a demonstration. But I have this, for example, this equestrian EMC that I
Mm-hmm.
have here. And so if
Mm-hmm.
we go back to the Experienceify connection in Go Plus, um, you can see now right here, I have associated my product in Go Plus with how to effectively grow your question of it, that course in Experienceify. And that course in Experienceify is right here, how to effectively grow your
Mm-hmm.
equestrian business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's all you need to do in order to connect the course with the product. And again, what that allows us to do is just it allows us to synchronize the data between them, and also um, I don't think it's there yet, but very soon, when somebody purchases the product on Go Plus, it will automatically send that student to Experienceify and then automatically log them into the course as you would. But
Mm-hmm.
that particular development is not ready quite yet. It's almost there.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Thank you so much, Stephen. Um, like another thing is I'm trying to connect my domain. So before I jumped on to Go Plus, I have Go High Level. So my right now my domains are connected with the Go High Level. So right now when I'm trying to transfer this to Go Plus,
Hmm.
um, and I was trying to connect the domain in Go Plus here, and it said that currently that domain is already connected or associated with something else. So how do I go about it? Or the simple thing is, if I want to transfer everything from my Go High Level to Go Plus, so is there an easy way to do it, or
There is. Yes.
okay?
So before you do anything else in Go Plus, before you set anything
Mm-hmm.
else up, I want you to
Mm-hmm.
send a message to support at usegoplus.com.
Okay.
My colleague Sebastian will
Uh-huh.
assist you in transferring your entire sub account from Go High Level to to Go Plus, right?
Okay.
And then that way, all of your website, your domain, that will all
Mm-hmm.
automatically, that'll still be all set up. And then you
Mm-hmm.
just have to sort of connect your Experienceify account, all of that stuff. So
Okay.
that's what we need to do. So you may find that any work that you've done thus far
Uh-huh.
um, is you may have to reduce a little bit of it, but
Okay.
because ultimately you've created a sub we basically have two computers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Go Plus is one of them and Go High Level, you have Go High Level over here, and so we're going to
Mm-hmm.
be trying to replace one with the other. That's what
Mm-hmm.
it's not trying. We're going to do that, and
Okay.
so
Okay.
I wouldn't do anything else until you get that transfer done, because that way it's going to save you a lot of time and effort, like moving your website and your domain and all that stuff.
Okay. Okay. That's what I'll do. I'll contact Sebastian then.
Sounds great.
Thank
Mark,
you.
you're not connected yet, and you don't even have access to Go Plus.
No, I can't get access and support bounces back, so I'm kind of feeling a bit high and dry.
Well, okay, we're here. So what do you mean support bounces back? What does that mean?
I'd get no, it won't connect. My email won't go through to
Support at
support.
usegoplus.com?
Yeah,
Interesting. Hmm.
yes. So I'm a little bit high and dry because I've got my
Well,
Experienceify paid account now. I
sure,
can't
yeah,
get
no,
Go
that's
Plus.
so let's get you solved. I'm gonna stop my screen sharing just so that I can do some stuff in the
No
back
worries.
end and look
That's all
look
right.
up.
Do you
Can
want me to
you?
chuck? Do you want me to chuck my the email in there for you
Yes,
into
please.
chat? Uh,
Shanna, just give me. It is Shanna, right? Shanna, is that correct? Give me a few seconds to work with Mark here, and then I will get you to about email and setup and billing and those kinds of things. And Alice, even though you're a newbie, please feel free to ask any specific questions that you have about getting set up and whatnot. So I'm just going to look up Mark's account here right quick.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I saw you. Oh, there's your email right there. Do-do-do-do-do.
So the normal support email is support@goplus.com. Is that right?
No, so it's support@usegoplus.com.
At usegoplus.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we don't have that, if you don't use that one, then it definitely will bounce back from you.
Right. That's why then. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Is there, and Mark, have you ever even like, you've never received like a welcome email or any of that stuff, or?
No, so I did. So on the Experienceify, there's a little tile that says, like set it up, invite, whatever it is. So I've clicked that, done that, and nothing. I've checked my spam as well.
Okay. But you
Yeah.
did go through a payment process, and you went and you requested access to it, right? Basically.
Yeah, so I paid for my Experienceify account and then requested access to Go Plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I think happens, because I can't find a sub account in our agency right now. So,
Okay.
right, so we basically this is where we keep everybody's, So
Yep.
what I think has happened is I think that you got lost, but you're kind of in the queue. We just had a very big Black Friday and Cyber Monday kind of event.
Right.
Where we
Yeah.
literally had about 250 people say, "Hey, I want one of these," right? So I think you may be just back in the queue, but I'm gonna put a note
Okay.
in our team Slack channel here for Sebastian to reach out to you directly. And I think obviously you had the wrong email address, so that's why he never got your email.
Yeah, sure.
And so, but I'm going to just let him know right now. Give me 2 seconds.
Thanks, that's cool. But then at least I've got the right email address to follow it up with now as well. So that's cool. Nice.
Okay, so I've just sent that to Sebastian, so he's going to reach out to you directly. You'll get an email from him probably in the next 15 minutes.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Super.
Yeah, sorry about that confusion. I know the Black Friday sort of Cyber Week stuff it's been a really big intake for us. So it's
nice.
wonderful for us.
Cool.
Yay.
Good stuff.
The community is growing and all that. No
worries.
It has caused sort of a little bump. Yeah, no worries.
No worries. Appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Fantastic.
Carry on listening in.
So, somebody had a question about. So, Shanna, give you the microphone.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Billing. I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so it's Shauna.
Shauna. Oh no! Look at that. She corrected me a long time ago. Okay.
That's fine. Okay, I apologize. I'm driving, so there might be background noise.
No worries.
The first question is a short question. What do I do about a billing question? Do I email support@usegoplus.com or something else?
The best first place to go for billing questions is support@usegoplus.com. Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then the other question is, so I want to be able to send email from my GoPlus account. And I selected the custom domain coachshauna.com to send email from. I will probably put a website on that too, but so far my exploration seems to require that I set up a custom IP address to send mail from, which means I have to warm up that IP address myself. And I was kind of hoping to actually use a shared IP address for sending email to start with, because I'm not regular in my email behavior yet.
Okay.
Is there a way to do that?
Sure. So 1 second. Mark, could I get you to mute? I'm just getting some feedback and it says it's coming from you. Thanks. So the first is I'm interested. So I'm going to share my screen, even though I don't think that you can see it probably if you're driving. I want you to be safe. For everyone who is, wrong screen to share. Sorry. I want to share this one. Apologies. There we go. So, you're looking at a GoPlus account right now on the screen, and I'm going down to the settings tab. And I'm going to actually, so in the settings tab, when I go down to email services, this is where we set up our domain for email. You'll see here I have, so this is what it usually looks like when you don't have anything set up inside here. I have connected one domain called Fun and Easy Fitness. By default, everyone who sets up a domain in the email, in the email services, by default, you're using a shared IP address. So my question first for you, Shauna, is did you receive a specific message, or where did you see that you needed to have an IP address?
So I have pulled over, by the way,
Okay,
just
good.
so you know, I'm safe.
Good.
When I went to set up, I added the domain, and then when I went to set up the email, somehow I thought that I was going down the road of, let's see, this is on my phone, so it's a little hard to see, using a dedicated sending domain. So you're saying that if I select the default provider, that's what you set up, right?
So when you add a domain here, right? So when you add, I believe it was Coach Shauna, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. So if I were to come in here, obviously I can't, I won't have access to your DNS and stuff like that. But if I were to come in and add a domain, so I'm in email services and I add a domain.
Okay.
And first you have to it's required that you give it a subdomain, right? So mostly they recommend LC, but that could be mail dot, that could be message dot, whatever you'd like for it to be. But I'm going to just put LC in there, and then I'm going to put Coach Shauna.com.
Okay.
And so when we do that, we click on add and verify. And so it's going to go out and it's going to look for that domain name, and it's going to say, hey, this is a real thing, and that it's registered somewhere. And then it's going to ask you to add some records to your DNS. Have you gone to this part yet?
I have, but I don't remember if I did it doing the email or if I just added it as a domain to my account in another spot in the settings.
Sure. So I'll go there next. All right.
Okay.
And so if I click on continue, it will go out and it will say, hey, look, we can set this up for you manually, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to just pause on that for a second. I'm going to click on this add record manually.
I like the manual stuff.
So what's going to happen is you have these 5 records. Is it 5 or 6? 5. Yeah, 5 records that you need to set up in your DNS so that you can send and receive email. And there's a couple TXT records, a CNAME record, and 2 MX records, which is fine. And so once you set these up and then you click on the verify, that will add the subdomain to your GoPlus account, and you will be able to send and receive emails using that subdomain, right? And that's all you have to do. You don't have to set it up anywhere else. And this is admittedly confusing about GoPlus, because I'm going to stop this. And I'm going to now go back to, I'm going to remove your your domain from my account so that we don't have that issue. And I'm going on the left side of the screen over here where we've got, so we also have,
can I just stop you for a second? If I was going to set up a dedicated IP for my mail, where would I do that? Just so I see how it's different than what you just did.
So one of the things that they do, so if I go back to email services, once you've set up your domain, it says down here, it says using a dedicated sending domain for email communications can help improve deliverability, etc. You have to request that from us, and then we can help you walk through that.
So I can't hurt myself.
No, right now
I'm in a padded cell.
Yeah, right now we've actually blocked your ability to do that. Simply because if I mean this in the nicest, most generous way, most people just don't even know what an IP address is that work with us. And so we don't want anybody getting charged for something that they don't need, or getting lost in the weeds of setting, like as you said, trying to warm up email and warm up an IP address and that kind of stuff. Just the fact that you even said that, I'm not sure most people even know what that means. So that's great. That's wonderful. So, but just to complete the thought, though, just because we hear this what's it called? We hear this question a lot. Email services is one place where you set up your domain, and that is exclusively for making sure that you can use your custom domain to send out emails through nurture sequences, through automations, through when somebody makes a purchase and you want to notify somebody of a purchase. So that's what this email services is for, and that's the domain settings that we've done for there, right? That will not
Okay,
affect
and
your
before
website.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
before you go to the next thing, I just want to refresh my memory. The thing I would click from this screen is that little button that says dedicated domain and IP to set it up. Not on, yeah, over there.
So
Is that what I do?
in
Oh, that takes me.
in order to set it up from, sort of, if you haven't done this yet, on the left-hand side, you go down to settings. Oh, or sorry, it's not there. So on the left-hand side, you go down to settings here.
Yeah.
The very bottom, click on settings, and then you go
Mm-hmm.
to email services. So you kind of go down and click on email services, and that takes you to the page where
Mm-hmm.
you can then set up your email domain or your subdomain for email. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then I click the button in the upper right-hand side,
It
and
will
then
look,
I
it will
probably
actually
do that
look,
again.
it will actually look slightly different because I have a domain set up, a subdomain set up. So now the interface looks slightly different. But
I see.
it will look something like this, and there will be a big button there that says add your domain, and that's where you will start.
Okay, thank you. Now
No
I'm
worries.
ready to see the next thing to complete the picture.
No worries. So if you already do, so does the CoachShauna.com, does that exist as a website somewhere already?
No.
Okay. The only reason I ask that is because for everybody on the call, if you are already hosting your website somewhere, it could be, it could be anywhere else. If you're already hosting your website somewhere and then you do this next process, you will break the connection to that website. So just that is what I want to make very clear. If you set up your email service, your existing website will not be affected. Everything's fine. But if we come down now on the left hand, again, we're on the left hand side of the screen. We're going down the menu item here, and I'm clicking on the domains button. If you add your domain here and then go through the process of adding those records, the DNS records to your domain name server, that will change the connection to where the universe thinks your website lives. And so it will break the connection to your existing website. So just that, I want to just make sure everybody's very, very clear about that. So there's actually two places that those records, that GoPlus requires you to do those records. But if you want to connect your domain, like for instance, Coach Shauna, you have CoachShauna.com, it doesn't have a website somewhere, this is a new business, or however, whatever you're at, it's very simple. You click on connect the domain, you type in the domain. How many different ways can I spell Coach
So
Shauna today? So go ahead, Shauna.
So this is also the place, like if I did have Coach Shauna as a website that I'm hosting someplace else, is it true that I could add a subdomain version of that domain here?
Correct.
And that would not break it.
Correct. That's what, for example,
Okay.
that's what we do on Experienceify. Experienceify, the main website and our app are located in a different place, but we do a lot of our sales pages and, funnels and those kinds of things using this. And we use launch.experienceify.com, right? So
Right. Okay. And then when a domain is added here, that becomes available to connect to anything you build with landing pages with no extra cost.
100%.
But if you want to do
Mhm.
okay, sorry, but if you want to do a WordPress integration, then that incurs whatever the hosting fees are for the WordPress being hosted through GoPlus.
Correct. And that is found back on the sites tab on the left-hand side. And then up here where it says WordPress, we click on that. Then you can see that you could host a WordPress site here, just like you would on Bluehost or Namecheap or HostGator or, any number of thousands of other hosting providers.
Okay, and just to be complete, the benefit of hosting a WordPress website here is that then the domain name for your website and the domain name for your landing pages is the same. You don't use a subdomain for your landing pages and then have your main domain for your So in other words, your website might be coachshauna.com and then a landing page might be coachshauna.com/Black Friday.
I understand, and I'm going to be completely transparent. I'm not sure. So
Okay,
I have not
that's
set
fine.
up their WordPress hosting yet, and because and so I just haven't gone through that process. And it's a great
Yeah.
question because yeah, I'm just thinking I like to think of in terms of physical devices, right? So, Experienceify is one physical server that you're accessing for all your courses. Go Plus is another physical server that you're accessing. And so if we then set up your website with WordPress hosting, that's a third physical device, right? Now, I don't know if that third physical device
Even.
will be underneath the same domain server that your Go Plus is. And so I can't answer that with complete
Okay,
confidence that you would then
that's
be able to
fine.
use CoachShauna.Experience, but I can get that answer for you.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't actually personally need that answer. I just thought I would tack that on for anybody else.
100%. No, I'm glad you asked the
Um,
question because it's a very valid question because most people don't want to use subdomains because it just confuses the
yeah,
picture. So great.
yeah. Thank you very much. You've thoroughly answered my question. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Great questions. Thank you so much. You can continue driving now safely. Awesome.
All
Barbara,
right.
your hand has been
Thank
raised for some time, and then I also see it's
you very
Sanaya.
much.
So,
Hi.
so let me take Barbara first, and then I'll take your question.
Thank you. I just signed up for um Go Plus like a week ago. I never got any. I mean, since the holiday weekend come back, and I still haven't seen anything
Mm.
from them. So I did just send an email to support@usegoplus.com.
Okay.
And let me just put my camera on here and
There you are. Hi.
okay, yeah. So my question is, I have a course that I've been teaching online since 2011, and moved it over to Experienceify a while back, but haven't opened the one that I have two courses that I've been teaching to both licensed health professionals, and the other one for certified coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm still kind of in the process of upgrading them because they came from another platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been on like 5 different platforms, 2 or 3 CRMs.
100%. Yeah.
My website's in WordPress. I have it hosted on SiteGround, and I've been using Infusionsoft. And I left Infusionsoft once and got talked into an all-in-one thing in 2018, and it just didn't work out. So I went back to Infusionsoft, lost a lot of, in the middle of all of that. So I'm a little leery about, doing another CRM. There was I was in, or I'm still in the Fletcher Method program.
Okay. I'm not familiar
And
with that, but okay. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they offer high level through that. And is this kind of the same thing?
Exactly the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Equal.
So,
I mean, is it different or is it the same?
so
Different
Go
name?
Plus is a white labeled version of Go High Level, right?
Oh, okay.
Many people, coaches, agencies, however you want to say it, that have the same technique.
Mm-hmm.
We brought Go High Level in because we wanted to give a full business solution to our community, right? Like we have a great course platform, but everybody kept asking, "Hey, how do I run my business?" And so that's why we have brought it on. The one unique piece about Go Plus that nobody else in the world has is that we've built the connection to Experienceify.
Yeah.
Right. And
Love
so if you have a Go High Level account from anyone else or a sub account from anyone else, that connection doesn't exist and you can't get it anywhere else. So that's the
Okay.
difference.
I'm glad I didn't buy it or, sign on for it then.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So, so how do you use it? I mean, can you use another CRM with it? Can I use Infusionsoft?
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
I mean, that connects to Go Plus. That's what I'm not sure about how all that works.
So we have the big problem of This is, and this is the problem of the internet world, is that there's this massive Venn overlaps, right? So
Mhm.
Infusionsoft and is going to be it's going to offer a lot of the same services that GoPlus does, but there's probably going to be quite a few things that are missing. I don't know Infusionsoft off the top of my head, like I'm not a guru on that, but I know that people use it for affiliate programs. They use it for customer, for managing their contacts, for sending out email, for sending out newsletters. And so it's, there's quite a few pieces of the same functionality.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, it's kind of unfortunately up to you to just decide which one of these platforms is what flavor do you prefer, right?
Mhm.
And then my counsel is stick with the flavor that you like. And if it's serving your business and you're able to grow your business, stick with the flavor you like and just kind of keep going forward with that. Can concentrate on growing your business. Yeah, rather than worrying about whether one tech platform is better than the other. Because quite frankly, they're such apples to apples that, the thing that I can offer you with Go Plus is just the seamless connection to Experienceify. So when you have new students coming in, we synchronize the contacts, we synchronize the tags. Over time, we'll be building more functionality that brings the two platforms together. But otherwise, it's up to you.
So you're saying that Go Plus and High Level are the same, but um, hmm. I have a lot of marketing stuff that I'm using through uh, Go the Fletcher method.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it is connected through Infusionsoft. And my students, when they are starting to come in,
Mm-hmm.
they go to my order form, they get connected
Mm-hmm.
and tagged
Mm-hmm.
through Infusionsoft. So what would be the difference there?
So you would just recreate that in Go Plus, right? You would recreate it either the funnel or the order form, however you like that. You would set up your product in Go Plus, and then as people purchase things, you would tag those students for the correct course. They would be added to the course automatically.
Mhm.
So it's ultimately it would just be recreating what you've built in Infusionsoft in Go Plus.
And so where does the cost for that come in?
The cost for Go Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a paid Experienceify account, Go Plus is included with your paid Experienceify account. So it's
Mm-hmm.
already available to you. You have it. It's just a matter of you wanting to use it. The only other costs that are associated with it is that we charge you for SMSs and emails sent, right? Just like other
Mm-hmm.
platforms would. And the cost for those are for every 1,000 emails you send, it's $1. So they are 1,000th of a dollar per email.
Mm-hmm.
And SMSs, I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're slightly
Yeah.
more expensive.
That's probably the same. I mean,
I'm sure it's very comparable.
I mean, I saw the high level stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and
So-
remember when we talk about Go Plus, it is high level. It's not
Yeah,
like they're not two different products. We've just put
Yeah.
our label on it. It is high level.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd be saving a what a question. What
Sure.
about number of contacts?
Unlimited. Well,
Unlimited.
I have to say it. So yeah, so people who come and there's people who have bought certain packages over time, right? And so the new people who are coming in with lifetime, they bought lifetime accounts. We limit their contacts to 1,000, but for legacy Experienceify, account owners, that it should be an unlimited. It should be an
Okay.
unlimited number of contacts.
Yeah, I was in the 2009.
I want to make sure I'm not talking out of school because we have a bunch of different offers, and I just want to make sure that we have those correct. But yeah,
I was in the first Experienceify group.
okay, yeah, then you're good.
Well, that will save a lot of money then.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole.
And do you
Mhm.
have any experience of people losing contacts by switching over and, kind of changing your whole CRM?
I mean, in terms of losing contacts, no. You can export them from any CRM if it's Infusionsoft or Mailchimp or ActiveCampaign or Go, Constant Contact or whatever you want to,
Mhm.
You can download those as a Excel file, or a CSV file is what it's called. Looks like an Excel spreadsheet. And then you would import them into Go Plus. And so they're all there. You can import them
Okay.
you can export them with all of the tags that they have and import them again, give them all the same tags. So
Do I have to do that over, or they would come with it?
you just do it once. When you decide to, transition from one platform to the other, you choose a day to do that. You download all of your contacts, and then you upload them up into Go Plus. And it's,
But all the tags that are in Infusionsoft go with.
well, they
Oh.
would, so when you export a contact, it would be like Stephen Laddick, and then, tag 1, tag 2, tag 3, and they come in different columns. And so those tags, you can import them during that process, and then they're automatically created inside Go Plus.
Okay. Would the funnels come over as well?
They do not.
Okay.
So you'd have to recreate the funnels.
Okay.
And the automations. Yeah. So that's, again, it's a migration or transition cost. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And so ultimately that's your time, or you can pay someone else to do that for you.
Mhm.
We do have, I'm not trying to pitch on our office hours, but we do have people who, in our company that will help you to transition all of that stuff.
Yeah.
For a fee. It's a pretty reasonable fee, but
Okay.
it just that way it can get done faster and more efficiently, because migrating, right?
Yeah, because I would probably mess it up too.
Well, but we know that the cost of change is a massive friction point for everyone for anyone in life, right? Anytime we want to make a change is every coach in the world knows this, right? Getting someone to make a change, it's because it's the cost of transition. And the cost of transition is usually perceived as extraordinarily high. And
Yeah,
so
but I look at all the money that I'm putting in, like, the marketing on this is,
100%.
I wouldn't need a lot of that. And I've done this before and I regretted it, but it sounds like that was a few years, it was 5 years ago. And now it's getting better.
I was gonna say the universe is very different.
Very different now. Yeah, it used to be
Technologically
like,
from 5 years ago, 100%.
seriously, this is all we've got in tech, 5 years ago.
Yeah, sure. Exactly.
I had a couple of other questions, if it's okay. Is somebody else in line?
Absolutely. If you don't mind, I know, and I
Yeah.
apologize if I'm destroying your name. Is it Sayana? Is that Sayana?
Sanaya.
Sanaya. Let me answer Sanaya's
Okay,
question, then I'll
sure.
come back to you since she's been waiting
Okay.
patiently for quite a while.
Thanks. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I have a couple of questions. I'm on Kajabi.
Mhm.
Everything I do is on Kajabi, from CRM to the website to all my landing pages, everything. So I've got my Kajabi account. I'm paid up until April.
Mhm.
So I do have 4 months. And one of the things I ran into as a problem with Kajabi is the limitations on building my website. So my website took a very long time to set up in Kajabi, just because, fonts and there was just a lot of limitations. So now I have to think about recreating all of that in Go Plus,
Mhm.
which obviously, I was already starting to go on to the other pages in my website. And now I've put that on hold because I'm like, what's the point of building it in Kajabi if I'm going to switch the platform? So that's one issue. The second one is I'm wondering if it makes more sense to build my website on like WordPress or Wix. And then that way, whether I'm in Kajabi or Go Plus, or I end up moving to another platform in the future, I don't have to recreate my website, because my website is not a simple one. It's something, I put a lot of time and effort into the design.
So could you get a little free promotion and tell us what your website is?
SanayaGurnamal.com. I can put that in the chat.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind putting it in there, let's just look at it together, because I'd just like to sort of
and then
have a conversation around complexity, essentially.
Yeah. So there's that, and then of course I've created a lot of different landing pages, for all my different offers. The thought of recreating it, and then if I switch again, having to recreate it again, like these are things that I find very
sure. Again, yeah, we're talking. Yeah, absolutely. The cost of transition here is pretty high. This is, no, you got a great website here. What I'm looking for, honestly, is is there any specific functionality that you've built in your website that either could not be recreated in Go Plus, or is prohibitively difficult to recreate, right? Um,
So
what,
to add to that, like everything we did here in Kajabi, we had to go back and forth. Oh, can we change the fonts beyond what's within? Because we're not doing coding.
right.
You know, my team is not doing coding, but
Sure.
all of that, it took months for this homepage, which it shouldn't. I think if I was on Squarespace or any other platform, it would have been, 10th of the time. So I'm expecting it might be the same case in Go High Level.
So for your future of your business, again, this is a question about complexity of functionality. Do you anticipate creating things that would be like a calculator or an assessment tool or some other kind of functionality where one of your clients could, or either a prospect or a client can come in and like log in and, hey, do something? Is that in your future?
It's in my current present. So I'm using quiz funnels. I have quiz funnels that I have assessments. I have all these different things that I'm doing. And I would imagine, in time, I would do more of these things. So right now, my quiz funnel is outside on lead quizzes, and then it brings me back into Kajabi. And there's a lot of things we're doing that we had to go back and forth with Kajabi. It wasn't user friendly. Even lead quizzes integrate. Like I have all these different integrations happening. And I also use affiliate tracking. So
Sure.
I guess my questions are, to make it simpler. Number one, is Go High Level better than Kajabi? Should I expect that there will be greater ease with Go Plus, excuse me? Will there be greater ease because it's a better system? It's like a next system, number one. Number two, does it make more sense for me to build my website on WordPress and then integrate with Go Plus? Because I don't want to spend another 6 months going back and forth on creating the website the way I need it to be.
Sure, of course. Understood.
And then the third question I have is, if I'm using Kajabi right now for the domain and the website and everything, then when do I transition? Like, especially if I'm going to build a website off onto another site, like how do I make this transition before April? Do I stage it? What do I do?
Sure, totally. These are great, amazing questions. I really appreciate you putting this full thought on the table. How many courses do you have in Kajabi?
I have no courses in Kajabi. All my courses are in Experientify. I have 9 courses in Experientify.
Okay.
From mini courses to full blown.
Okay.
Courses.
So your course, yeah. So that's interesting. So you've used Kajabi as your home for your business, but you've built your courses in Experientify. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and plan to stay there.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Wonderful.
And by the way, my business is only 1.5 years old, which is why I don't have a website that's really completely done. So
there's no apologies here. It looks very professional. It's great. And I'm just trying to give you a full realistic answer, because your ultimate question is, in my opinion, is Go Plus easier than Kajabi, right? And is it easier, and will I get a better result from it? It's really hard to answer that question simply because it comes down to the Mac versus Windows conversation, right? Even still today, I have people who say, look, I use Apple products. They are seamless. I swear by it. I'm religious about Apple. And I have other friends who say, you know what? Apple doesn't do half the stuff that I can do in Windows. And this is where I game and this is what I do. And I love Windows and everything. And those two, but they do the same thing. They go on the same websites. They have the same right? And so when we're thinking about Kajabi versus Go Plus, we're kind of having that same kind of conversation, right? It's about what flavor do you prefer to use. Here, let's go through the advantages. The advantages of using Go Plus would be that it seamlessly connects to Experientify, so then you don't have to use Zapier or any other what's called middleware to connect the platforms to keep things synchronized. Over time, we have a commitment to continue to develop Go Plus and continue to develop the connection so that it gets more robust and better over time. So that will just add value to what you have. And we know that the Go high level community is one of the fastest growing and biggest communities out there. And so the platform of Go Plus will continue to improve over time as well. So more connections, more options, more features, more stuff, right? And more value. Let's put it more value. So now in terms of your website, you've invested a lot of time and effort into it. To transition it to Go Plus, it would, it's either going to be your time and effort, or you would pay someone to bring them in. There's tons of Go high level professionals out there on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever that you could pay a couple, pay probably $200 to $500 to, and say, look, I want you to recreate this website in Go Plus for me. And I will not pay you until it looks exactly the same and does all the same stuff, right? And so that's how I would do it, just because for you to do it, again, you would go through that 6-month process again. But if you pay someone to do it, we're talking about a week, right? And
that's already something I'm going to do, whether it's
right.
WordPress or Go high level. I will pay
now for the future of your business, the desire to have, right now I sensed a little bit of frustration around, like your quizzes, they take you to, I was clicking as you were doing it, like your quiz takes you to another quiz platform, and your challenge takes you to another platform, and so that's, even the best of the best in the world can't overcome that. It's just because these are, you're looking, there's never going to be a time when all of the functionality that you want can all be brought in a way that you love it, right? You can probably always find a hack or a workaround, but you're like, oh, you know what? I can do quizzes inside my WordPress, by bringing in a quiz plugin and having it there. But I really love that one over there, and I want to use that one. So, I wouldn't worry about that so much, because your clients ultimately don't care, right?
Yeah.
We have been successfully trained as a species over the last 25 years to accept the fact that we have to bounce around between stuff. And especially anyone who's below the age of 35, it doesn't even, it's not even a thing, right? So I wouldn't worry so much about that. It's the only question you need to really answer in terms of should I put it on WordPress or not, in my opinion, is how complex the functionality of your website will ultimately become. And what I mean by that is, are you going to have a back end where people can log in and have an account, and, you're going to be giving them, maybe that's where you're going to be giving them worksheets or assignments or other stuff from your coaching practice, that kind of stuff. Like if you're doing that, then you're ultimately building something like a Go Plus platform on your own, and you're looking at a really big development pathway. What it seems to me,
I don't need that.
Right. It seems to me is you're ultimately improving the functionality over time so that it looks better. It's potentially a little bit more seamless, drives people to your to your courses, as well as your coaching practice. So I think Go Plus would be a good solution. I think that you could do a very low cost test of that by, again, using for example, one of the things you could just go and set up one of the templates in your Go Plus account, right? That they have, that's just sort of a standard coaching template, and then kind of, create a dummy site and just ask yourself, look, what, can I do the functionality I have? I would just spend, a day on that. And if you can get yourself to a point where you're like, you know what? Yeah, this, for the next year, 2 years, this is going to, this looks like it's going to have the functionality, then go for it. Then you're not going to be paying more for hosting services. You're not going to have to worry about, and it's all going to be in one place. But if you build one of those templates and you're like, I really don't, it doesn't really feel that way, then go down the WordPress path, right?
Okay. And if I start setting everything up and migrating everything into Go Plus, like the website, for example, I have to get someone to do all of this. It's like all of this work will get done before April, if that's my, transition. It's like I get everything built, and then on a particular day, I just move the domain, move the,
right. You can have you can set up everything in Go Plus. And actually, this is a great for everyone on the call. And if you're listening to the recording, like this is a great transition plan. You're describing it right here. It's like, look, I know that I want to, flip the switch on March 31st at midnight. And so for the next 3 months, I'm going to get everything in place. I'm going to have my funnels in place. I'm going to have my automations in place. My appointment calendar is going to be in place. My quizzes will be in place. My products will all be done. My website will be up and I will have tested it, right? And so that it does what I want. And then quite literally on March 31st, you're just going to connect your domain. Poof, and it all turns on, And so
And I
that's
don't need the domain. I don't need the domain. I don't need anything connected before that to be able to do all the other things to set it up.
Nope. To test it, you need to have, for example, no, you don't. No. Even I was going to say to test your email, but you don't, because you would just put your email in as the subdomain, as we did at the very beginning of the call here. I'm not sure if you were on. And that won't affect your current universe. So.
But like my Google Calendar, setting that up, because can you create appointments and all of those things without the Google Calendar? So you can pretty much.
I was just gonna say, there won't be any problem with you setting up your Google Calendar here. Like you could you set up an appointment calendar in Go Plus and use Calendly at the same time. They're independent systems, and they both can connect to your Google Calendar, and they'll both look for conflicts. So you can set it all up. You just choose which one you're paying attention to as your source of the truth for your appointments.
Okay. And then does Go Plus have quiz capabilities and surveys and like all this other stuff? It does.
It does. I'll show you where they are. I'm going to be, again, my so I'm just going to take us back to Go Plus real quick.
While you're navigating there, can I just add a couple of thoughts that I think are really important for Sanaya?
Yes, but then I'm going to show her right now because I'm already there, right? So if
okay, I'll do it after.
But then yeah. So if you look in your forms here, you can build any kind of form that you want, right? So it could be an intake form, it could be a sales form, it could be a newsletter sign up, whatever. But then you see over here you have surveys, so you can build surveys of any type that you like, and then you got quizzes, where you can build quizzes that you want. Sorry, I'll zoom in there, and it's all in the sites place, right? So. It's all they're all there, and then you can integrate those into your website, right? So you can basically take that and have that appear in your website.
Okay. And how are the analytics with Go Plus? Like, are they pretty good with giving you data? And because Kajabi isn't, so I'm wondering if
the honest answer. The honest answer is, you want to set up and connect it to Google Analytics, because that's the grand poobah of analytics. You're going to get some analytics here, but mostly they're focused on Facebook and Google ad networks. Like because this was built by marketers initially, they were really focused on analytics that are about, hey, how do I run ads that are effective and bring the communication back into this? And so if you want to understand analytics about website traffic or landing pages and those kinds of things, stick with Google for right now. But you're going to be able to see, like, if you create a form or you create a survey, all of that stuff will be in here, because the responses will come through there and whatnot. And so you can pay attention to that. Shanna, I give you the mic to tell us why you prefer code bases. Go.
Thanks. Sanaya, do you want your website to be SEO responsive or SEO high performing?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And do you serve people who have disabilities, might be blind? In other words, the way they surf the internet is different because they're blind or partially sighted or have motor skill issues?
I have not had any clients like that yet.
Okay. So, what I've noticed about landing page builders in any of the CRMs that I've participated in is that they don't write semantic HTML code. So you get the things that look the way they should, but underneath the hood, if you look at the code, you're not getting like the H1 tag where it should be and the H2 tag and all that kind of stuff, which does not matter when you are sending people to a landing page from a ad or a social media post. But if you're looking for search engines to rate your website well, that in my experience, and a lot of you have a different perception, let me know. But I wouldn't, if I want to optimize for SEO, I want to have control over the code. And if I also want to have a website that people who use screen readers or other types of assistive technology can actually also browse, I need to have control over the code.
Go ahead. Finish the thought.
The last thing, and then I'll mute myself, is can someone like myself or Sanaya, an account holder with Go Plus, have another user that has limited access? In other words, if she was going to have a developer create her website in Go Plus or in Go Plus, does she have to give them her login, or can she add them with limited permissions?
Easy. Yeah. So the first question is really easy. Again, I'll share my screen just to show you. You would just go into settings, and then you can look at my staff on the left-hand side here. Click on my staff, and then you can add a person. And like I'll just look one of my guys that works with me is Victor. I'll just show you, like, so after you add him, you have all of the roles and permissions that you can change about what they have access to. So it's fairly deep and granular, I guess I should say, about what you can provide access to and not, right? So you can definitely have team members. You can have unlimited team members. So there's no limit to that. To answer the second question, I'm gonna have to remember to erase that because Google does not like it when we show personally identifiable and in the recordings. Oh well. In terms of what you have just described around the code base and SEO, I fully agree with what Shauna said. If your game is going to be SEO, then you would be better to choose a WordPress site, simply because you will have control of the tagging of a blogs and those kinds of things. My caution there is, and I say this from a business perspective rather than a platform or coding perspective, anything like that. Ask yourself very seriously if you're going to be in the business of an SEO strategy, or are you going to be in the business of finding people to bring into your coaching practice? Only because, as someone who has spent quite a few years in the SEO game, that is a full-time job, right? Like that, if you're going to compete on SEO, it can be done, and I've done it successfully, but it is, I mean, hundreds of hours a week, full-time. How am I going to compete on these keywords? How am I going to find what the keywords are? How am I going to change my content and create content that not only people have, just because Google has gotten so complex around discovering and determining what it will serve in searches, that, ask yourself if you want to be in that business. I'm not trying to discourage you from it, but it's just a really important consideration to say, is like, where are you going to spend your time? Because your time may better be well served rather than writing those blog posts and trying to compete on keywords, going into forums, spending your time on LinkedIn, signing up for other, community groups and those kinds of things, and actively just being that salesperson out there rather than trying to get to people to find you through a search. That's all. I want to unsolicited business advice there. So, but I do agree with Shannon. If you want to have control over the code and you want to compete in SEO, WordPress is definitely the way to go.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Friends, we have come to the top of the hour. And unfortunately, as always, there's more questions than time. But I do unfortunately have to go to the next call. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really, really appreciate it. There's going to be another 2 office hours next week. Then obviously any questions that you have, you can always send them to support@usegoplus.com. We will get those of you who are on the call who are not connected, we will get you connected as ASAP. You can also always write to me, Stephen@experienceify.com. That will, and I will either send you to the right place or I will get you an answer as fast as I can. But thanks so much. I wish you the best of luck today, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Just want to make sure I see all the questions before I go in. Awesome.